back again with I believe it's my fourth Boxy book haul. So I'm kind of excited about this one because right here on the top, I see a book that I want to read like right now, and it is Chasing Plants by Chris Thorogood. Journeys with a botanist through rainforests, swamps, and mountains. Look at this fabulous, fabulous, fabulous cover. I love the image here. I'm very excited to read this. I kind of forgot that I had this. I'm going to be really honest here. It was something that I think I pre-ordered this, or did I? You know, this is still in the plastic. Let's take it out of the plastic. Wow, look at this. Look at this one. Man, there are some really pretty illustrations in here. Wow, here's a photograph. Oh my goodness, just flipping through this book is making me so excited. Okay, I'm definitely reading this book next. Oh my goodness, okay. And then I have Meg by Steve Alton. I know this is like a series of books now. I've never read them. Several years ago, I read Jaws and absolutely hated it. I did like the shark parts. The problem is there was hardly any shark in it. The book wasn't even really about the shark. And so ever since then, I have wished for a book that would have a lot of the shark in it. So I'm hoping that Meg will deliver a lot of shark action. And from what I've heard, it will. So this is one that I'm looking forward to reading at some point. The next book is Wanderlust, An Eccentric Explorer, An Epic Journey, A Lost Age by Reed Mitenbuler. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that author's name correctly, but this book is all about Peter Frauchen. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly either, but this man was apparently really eccentric. He was an explorer. He placed himself in a lot of danger with his exploits. I know he had some incident in the Arctic when he was dog sledding. I know that he was a champion for indigenous peoples and their treatments. He had something to do with climate change. He was in a Nazi prison camp. So he just seems like a really, really interesting historical figure. And so I am excited to read about him. The next book is Garbage Pail Kids, Welcome to Smellville by R.L. Stine. So I picked this up purely for nostalgic purposes. When I was in the 6th grade, I believe I was the 6th grade, I started collecting Garbage Pail Kid stickers. And I was very, very, very into those Garbage Pail Kid stickers. And I had probably over 1,000 Garbage Pail Kid stickers. And they were lost in my early 20s during one of my moves, which is terribly depressing because when I looked back, so I had from the first series, I had a lot actually from the first series. And when I looked the ones up that I could remember that I had, they're literally worth a few $1,000s a piece now. The cringe that I have lost those Garbage Pail Kid stickers is very much with me. But anyways, because I was so into Garbage Pail Kid stickers, I saw that there was a book. I don't know, there's probably more, but this is the only one that I saw. So I thought that I would pick it up and read it just to see what it was like. And then Lolita, the 50th Anniversary Edition by Vladimir Nabokov. I have never read Lolita, but I've wanted to for a very, very, very long time. And I found this for a really good price, and so I picked it up. So the next book is Spooky Action at a Distance, The Phenomenon That Reimagines Space and Time, and What It Means for Black Holes, the Big Bang, and the Theories of Everything by George Musser. So this book talks about the strange things that happen once you get down to the quantum level of physics, which is an interest of mine. And this book is going to talk about some specific aspects of quantum physics that remain unexplained. So this is a book that I'm really looking forward to. I probably won't read it until more towards the end of the year, but still, this is going to be a really interesting read, I think. And then I picked up a few Jim Thompson books. I got really obsessed with Jim Thompson's noir novels last year. I read a number of them, absolutely loved them. So now it's kind of my mission to read all of his books. So the first one I have here is The Grifters. And then I have The Killer Inside Me. They made a movie of The Grifters too, I do believe. I haven't seen it. But this one they made a movie, and I have seen this movie, and I think it has Jessica Alba in it. But I really liked the movie, so I'll be really interested to read this one and see how it compares, how much the movie follows the book. The next one is Texas by the Tail. And the next one is South of Heaven. Okay, the next book is The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda, which is a thriller. I do not recall what this is about, but it's a thriller that I'll get to at some point. The next book is Byron and the Shelleys, A Story of Friendship by Jane Bloomberg. So Frankenstein is one of my favorite books of all time. I absolutely love that book. And I'm kind of obsessed with the way that book came into existence. A lot of people know the story. It was where Mary Shelley, Percy Shelley, Lord Byron, Clara Claremont, and I can't remember the other guy, John Polidori, spent a summer together, and they were kind of stuck inside because there was some volcanic eruptions that had happened and had sort of darkened the sky for the year, and they call it the year of no summer. But they ended up staying inside a lot and ended up writing. Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein as a result of this summer together. And so this is a book about that time they spent together. So I'm looking forward to reading this one at some point. The next book is Heaven and Hell, A History of the Afterlife by Bart D. Ehrman. I saw Vin talk about this on his channel, Revenant Reads, which I'll have linked in my description. But I thought this sounded really interesting. This is all about where the stories of the afterlife have come from. And so yeah, I thought this would be an interesting read. Okay, then I picked up a couple of middle grade-ish books from a series called Fright Watch. This one is called The Stitchers by Lorian Lawrence, and this is about some kids who move to this creepy neighborhood and they think something is going on, so they have to figure that out. And then the other one is The Collectors, which looks to be like a ghost story. There's not like a strong indication in the synopsis, but it sounds like potential ghosts to me, and I do love a good ghost story. Ooh, and then I forgot about this one too. Kindred, Neanderthal Life, Love, Death, and Art by Rebecca Warg Sykes. I cannot wait to delve into this. The whole Neanderthal Homo sapien intertwining that happened really fascinates me. So this is a book I'm definitely going to read sooner rather than later. Okay, the next book is Robin Hood. So I do already have a copy of Robin Hood, but the copy I have is the Howard Pyle version of Robin Hood, and this one is Henry Gilbert. So I thought it would be fun for me to read these back to back and kind of compare the differences in them. And then the last book in this haul is The Fall of Arthur by J.R.R. Tolkien and edited by Christopher Tolkien. So I do like King Arthur stories, and I don't really know what to expect from this book, but it's J.R.R. Tolkien and it's King Arthur. I figured I can't really go wrong. Okay, so that wraps up this Boxy book haul, and I'll call that the end of the video.